Let's talk herd. Hi, Noreen. It's lovely to have you here. Lovely to
Thank you.
talk about horses again. And it's really fascinating to me because you had horses quite late in your life. And I'd love to hear how that came about and what they are, what they mean for you, and all the trials and tribulations, I imagine, from getting into it quite late. So yeah, just tell us the story.
Well, yes. I'm here in Epona 16 years. So I knew when I arrived here that this was an opportunity for me to heal, but I actually didn't realize that actually I was going to be working with horses until one day I was doing, I do Reiki. So on humans back then. And I knew I had a gift with it. But one day this lady came in and she was stressed over her husband and everything around. So her husband had just had a foal born, and it was the vet had actually said they were putting her down because there was nothing they could do for her. So she was coming to me to help her to release her stress, and I just suggested, Camille, would you not look at somebody like me doing in the horse world? And so she went off home and she told her husband to look for somebody like me doing healing with horses. So she rang me and she said, we don't know anybody, but would you like to come along? And I thought, right, okay, I love animals, but I haven't been in contact with horses since I was 13 years of age. Now at 13, my brother was a jockey, so he used to bring horses home to our farm. And we used to get up and ride them and just having fun. We weren't trained or anything. So we just had a natural connection with them. And this day, when I was 13, I was going through, I suppose, my teenage years and a lot of stuff was coming up. And this beautiful grey horse came in to the yard. And I asked my brother, could I ride this beautiful horse, a grey horse? And her name was Freeway. So off I went up the field. But Freeway ran away with me. So my legs were out of the stirrups. My hands were around the neck. And all I could see in the corner of my eye was my brother running and going, oh my God, she's going to die. She's going to fall off the horse because they were going so fast. But Freeway stopped halfway up the field, just suddenly. And I got off and I was just so scared. I suppose now thinking back, I was scared of my brother as opposed to it was the freedom. It was the freedom of riding the horse my way as opposed to sitting on the saddle and popping up and down. I was actually holding on and the horse was taking me on the journey. But then I got scared because there was all complications in that, oh my God, you could have died and oh my God, you could have fallen off. So that was the last time I had really encountered with horses. And here I am, 40 years of age, back going to see a thoroughbred horse. So off I went to the stable and I saw the foal and I saw the mare and there was no connection, none at all. The mare had actually turned her back on the foal. And the foal was just lying there in the stable. And the guy was standing there going, what can you do? So I stood outside the stable for 4 days and I connected with the universal energy to help and guide the person that owned the foal, to guide the mare to connect and to guide the foal. So the whole lot of us were reconnecting. And I just stood there. And it was absolutely fascinating because on day 3, the mare actually brought the foal. He got the foal up and brought it out to the stable door and started weaving the energy up and down the body of the foal. And myself and the owner, we were looking going, oh my God, this is amazing. What's going on here? And I realized that actually the mare was connecting. He had started to trust us and trust himself and trust the foal. And then by day 4, the owner said, would you like to go in and be with the foal? because he could feel the energy. He could feel the connection was there. So off I went in, and this big mare was looking at me, going, "Please come in." I knew I was invited in. And I lay down on the hay with the foal and connected with the foal. And the foal survived. And for me, that experience was, oh my God, this is what I need to do. I knew the horses were going to actually teach me about connection, about love. I knew in that instant, after that 4 days, I knew in my heart and soul that actually we can't survive without love. And for me, I knew my heart was closed down, and this was my journey. My next journey, it was actually trusting to open my heart to receive, as opposed to giving all the time, Camille.
Yeah. It's really fascinating to me, the process between the mare and the foal that you're describing, and you and the guardian. When you say she was weaving up and down the foal, can you describe that a bit more? Go into elaborate a bit more on that.
Yes. So what you had, yeah. So what had happened was the foal was lying down on the hay. It couldn't get up. It couldn't get up. It was just too. It was exhausted. It was dying.
Yeah.
So by day 3, we had sent in the energy, and the connection was there between the 4 of us. So what had happened was the mare had got the foal up.
Okay.
She brought her out and literally aligned her in the stable door. So we were outside the door. So there was the mare, and the foal was here, and the mare was inside, and his head or her head was weaving up and down the chakras of the body.
Wow.
Of the foal.
Okay.
So I went in, and I went then on the outside because there was all trust there, and then I weaved the energy up and down the foal as well. So this foal could actually stand by day 3, which was really amazing. And as you said, she just stood in a line with the stable door, and she was there between us. Yes. Wow. And we just weaved the energy up and down the chakras. And I just thought, wow. So there was a blockage, like there was an ulcer. It was in the stomach. And all we had to do is send the energy down through the body. But I couldn't do it. It had to be the mare had to do it. Wow. So I guided her to help the foal to actually reconnect as well. So it wanted to stay alive because it felt the love from the mother.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's what I felt was, yeah. And that was my learning when I was there. It was like going, it's the reconnection of that love that saved the foal. And that was my learning.
Beautiful. Wow. What an amazing story. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yes. But that was only the start of it, Camille, because after the 2 years, I decided I needed to get my own horses, because I was thinking, wow, I'm going there and I'm helping this guy heal and with his horses and everything. So I was thinking, oh my God, what if I had my own horses? Yeah. What would my horses mirror me? And I'm going, oh my God, this was kind of frightening, because I knew my energy was high, because I'm one of these people, that, I'm driven kind of, and can't sit down. So I was thinking, am I on fight or flight all the time? So yes, so the universe, it was really interesting, because I was doing my yoga one day here at the center, and my yoga teacher said to me, you need to get your own horses, Noreen. And I'm going, I know nothing about horses. They wouldn't be able to survive here, because, I don't have stables, I don't have anything. And so I'm there going, and I don't know how, I'm afraid of them. I'm afraid, and I was a very fearful person. Anyway, so bringing these big guys in. So yeah, so one day we were here, just across the road, literally. Lizzie, my Palomino, was born, and Ruby, the mom. So we could see them every day when we were all going out to school with the kids. And this is like 10 years ago. We're driving out. Beautiful. It was like magic. like looking out at this beautiful palomino. She was only a small little foal. And we used to go and visit her, which was beautiful every day. And I remember the guy who owned her, he said to us, would you like to buy her? And we were going, oh my God, she'd be so expensive. She's so beautiful. We can't afford her. And anyway, my husband bought her for me. And he brought her in, he brought her literally across the road into, so when we were buying Epona, all we wanted was a site to build a house. We didn't want anything else. But the universe had guided us to buy the 13 acres we have here.
Okay.
And literally, we didn't want 13 acres. We just wanted, say, 3 acres for the surrounding site, for the house and everything. But the universe had guided us to buy the 13. So there's the horses now are in the paddocks. So the universe was guiding me all the time.
Yes.
By, us buying the land first, and then the horses were across the road. And literally, we bought Lizzie, and Ruby is the mom. So Ruby came across, and the farmer said, oh, we'll leave Ruby here for a while, to settle her in. So 2 years later, Ruby, he came back and he went, I'm going to take Ruby away.
Oh,
And
yeah.
of course, I was devastated because Ruby was part of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, she was the mother figure. She was very grounding. She was very nurturing. I felt I got on really well with her. I didn't like Lizzie. The one my husband bought for me. She was a foal. Yeah. But what I was seeing was I didn't like me. It was a reflection of me.
Okay.
And, she bit me. And I used to go out into the field and I used walk around kind of, to be brave because, I have no horsemanship. So I'd go out into the field thinking I'd be very brave. And next thing they start running at me. And I'm standing there going, oh my God, they're going to kill me. And I'm going, so they helped me to stand in my power. So I used to stand there and I used to open my heart and go, why would my horses hurt me? They're here in this beautiful land. So I kept talking to myself, kind of going, you know what? They're in this beautiful land and I'm here to help them. I'm opening my heart to loving them and I'm hoping they love me too. And so they'd swirl around me and I go, oh my God, oh my God. So that night I would have dreams about my horses and they would come in and they'd tell me that, you stood in the field today. If you can stand in the field and have 2 horses running at you, you can do anything. You can stand in your power with anybody coming at you. And these were the lessons they were teaching me when I would go into my dreams in my unconscious state. And so I used to come out the following morning then, and then I'd be kind of going, okay, I'm out in the field again, and they would be fine. So and then over time, I learned that actually my energy was creating this chaos, that they were on fight or flight or whatever. So I learned to meditate and I started doing Tai Chi and Qigong, and just asking the questions. What's going on with Noreen today? What am I feeling today? Am I feeling controlling? Am I feeling, is there fear in my body? What am I fearful about? So before I go into the field, I would be very vulnerable and I would ask the questions to myself and I would surrender to them. And by the time I get into the field, they're all chilled. I'm all chilled and we would do the healing then. And that's how I started healing myself with the horses. Yeah. So that was really powerful because I used to question myself every time I used to say to my husband, what am I doing here? What am I doing with these horses? They're going to kill me, But I learned the body language by sitting outside in the field, looking at them
So powerful.
and feeling my own energy. So if I was feeling vulnerable, if I had, my esteem was low or anything, I would watch the body language of them to show me and they would get me into alignment. And I go, so I sat there. So I have them 10 years. So for the first 5 years, I was literally sitting in the field, learning about myself.
That's amazing. Because I think that takes a lot of humility because you weren't taking it personally, but you understood that they were reflecting your behavior and your state of mind. And
Mm.
yes, it's a real gift, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gift that we give ourselves as well to be
Mm.
able to go
Yes.
beyond the kind of concerns of, oh, they don't love me, they don't they don't care about me, and just to kind of focus on, your
Yeah.
true self. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So did you carry on and
Yes.
attract more horses?
Well, what had happened was Ruby, after 2 years, the guy said, I'm taking Ruby away. She looks amazing.
Okay.
Right, because she was his horse. And he went away and he
Yeah.
got her in foal. He got her in foal straight away because he thought, all right, okay, she produces really nice foals like Lizzie. And within 5 weeks, he rang me back and he said, come here, do you want her?
Mm.
She's not performing for me. She's obviously meant to be with you. So he brought her back. We bought Ruby, and Ruby had a
Yeah.
foal here in the land. So I call her my magic horse because
Oh, so
it is
perfect.
magic. It was magic. It's a miracle, and she creates miracles here at the center. She creates
Mm.
miracles for people here,
Yeah.
which is lovely. And she's a black horse. So I always find she takes us to
Wow.
the darkness of our spirituality, but brings out the light then. Mm.
Mm. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And how are you getting on with Lizzie now? How did that evolve, your
Yeah.
relationship with
So
her?
Lizzie, after 2 years of going through hell with her, really, biting and the whole lot, I realized that actually the biting was all about me controlling. So I had to let go of the control in my life. Um, she was jumping in
Mm.
front of me and just literally walking all over me, was that I had no boundaries. So I had to start working on my boundaries
Mm.
and not allowing
Mm.
people to walk all over me and saying no. Um, so for me, working with Lizzie, myself and Lizzie, and also she was very beautiful. Can you imagine? She's golden with blonde hair. Oh my God, she was just amazing. And I felt intimidated by that a little bit because I couldn't see the beauty in myself.
Ah,
So with all
yes.
these three things, I have worked on myself with this about opening my heart to loving myself. Like I had to break down a wall of 20 miles on my
Mm.
heart, surrounding my heart. So this is what the horses have helped me to do, is to break
Mm.
that wall down, to actually start loving
Mm.
myself, to let go of the control and surrender, to that everything perfection. Perfection was like, oh my God, I have to get this right. I have to. And as you
Mm.
said, Lizzie would help me in a way that, she would say, just do your best. Do your best. And when she would find that I was overdoing it, she'd come along and she'd just put her little head here and go a little nip and go, stop it. And I'm going, okay, the next one is a big bite, you know. So there's little
Oh.
nibbles she would go and she would help me to kind of go, okay, let go of that control. You can't, and at the beginning, I always thought that I could actually heal everybody. Little did I know that actually I have to heal myself and everybody else has to come and heal
Mm.
themselves. So that was my teaching at the beginning because I didn't know any different. I thought my ego was too big for myself
Mm.
and I was trying to heal everybody, my family, everything, except myself. So I think the horses brought it back in and kind of
Mm.
went, you need to do this for you. And then you can show and guide
Yeah.
people how they can actually have the tools to go away and do it for themselves as well. So that's where I started teaching animal Reiki, and helping people to
Mm.
communicate with the animals
Yeah.
and to understand what's going on, because my behavior and their behavior was similar. And I just thought, if I could help people to understand their behavior
Mm.
and their habits, they can change and they could have a beautiful relationship with their horses. So me and Lizzie now, we're best of friends. I mean, she is just so adorable. She's huge.
Mm.
I actually, the day I could stand out in the field with them. It was the day I knew I had healed that part of my life, that I wasn't afraid anymore and I wasn't controlled. And I started loving myself. So these were the three things that I actually started working on myself. And when I stood in the field, so then I knew if I can stand in the field with my 3 horses, I can take anyone out of the field with me to help them surrender like me.
Wow. Yeah. So you were doing all of that any without any equipment or head collars or anything like that. You were just those first years were just purely free with the horses.
Yeah. They're not trained. My horses aren't trained. They're trained around me. So I always say the 3 of them and I'm in the center, which is really beautiful. They put me in the center of their universe and that universal energy around. And we work as a team. Yeah. We work as a team, which is really beautiful.
Yeah, so amazing. Yeah, I'm really coming to understand or have a perspective about training that really we often use. I don't want to generalize too much, but in the horse world, I think we tend to use training as a form of control because of our fear.
Yes.
Of just controlling everything about us, everything around us, controlling, keeping our body safe, keeping things, in alignment with what we think is safe and right for us. Yeah. And it's such a freedom just to take away that whole layer and say, okay, what is, just be. Yeah. With nothing, with no form of, no interface in a way. No. And then maybe things can grow from that in an organic way, in a way that's beyond control or outside of that control paradigm. But yeah, so what you did was so beautiful because you just went into that so naturally.
Yeah, not knowing what I was doing.
But that's the best way because, I think that's the answer because I think none of us know actually. That's what I'm realizing, that we don't personally know anything. What we know comes to us from the universe, from God, if you like. And that instructs and guides us, but we can only really channel that when we're able to be open enough. And that's really what you were doing, was opening your channel. And so it's amazing. Yeah. So yeah, I was asking you, do you have any more horses now? Is that your herd settled now, or are they growing? What's the third baby like?
I think so. Yeah, they're growing. The third baby, the second baby, whatever. Yeah. Isabel, she's 7 now. So I keep calling her my foal. She's bigger than the other 2. But how she came about it was really interesting. How she came about was Ruby. So this was my journey, right? So I was there going, how do you communicate to animals? How do you know what they're telling you, or all of this? So when Ruby was pregnant with Isabel, she was here for all the time. And I remember, so we were guided. Ruby told me that she'd be born on the 1st of June. And I went, wow. The 1st of June is a significant date for me and my husband, on our journey, from years ago. So, and I thought, all right, okay, this is me playing with my brain now here, kind of going, oh my God, Noreen, cop on. So lo and behold, on the 1st of June, I got up to the toilet at 6 o'clock in the morning, looked out my window. I was the first to see Isabel, but I thought it was our dog because she was so small and she was black, Wow. I thought it was our dog below in the field, and I was looking out going, oh, what's the dog doing down there? Because we knew nothing about, foaling or anything. So We did go and see Ruby the night before and just kind of see if she was settled. The weather was lovely, you know, and the whole lot. She wanted to have it
Mm.
outside, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
And when I got up in the morning and saw the foal, I went, oh my God, today's the 1st of June. And I'm the
Wow.
first to see her because I never get up at
That's
about an hour in
amazing.
the morning. So she had got me up to look out the window, and off we trotted out then, all of us, to see.
Oh.
And then we didn't know what we were going to call Isabel until I came in and I asked my younger son, or my eldest son, I said to him, what are we going to call the foal? She's a girl. And he came out and he said, Isabella. Now, for
Mm.
me, Isabella, with the first meditation that I ever did on my journey of healing, I went to my first meditation back in so long ago. I remember the lady, the angel lady that was giving the meditation. She said on my shoulder, there was an angel on my shoulder, and her name was Isabella.
Wow.
And I always
Oh.
remember that because I'm there going, oh my God, there's somebody on my shoulder, Isabella, right? So when my son came out and said, like, he didn't know anything about this, you know, and I'm going, Isabel. And I went, oh my God, this is meant to be, you know. So that's why I call her my spiritual horse, because she's here with us in
Mm.
spirit. She's communicating with us intuitively. She's opening up our intuition, all of us, and she's guiding us on our spiritual journey. So she was amazing. So her teaching was, and I love her for it, but sometimes, you know, she will go through electric fences if she needs to get to somewhere. And that's her learning for me, is nothing can get in your way of actually succeeding in your
Mm.
life. Don't let
Yeah.
barriers, you know. So she has come through electric fences, like two fences, like, and bolted through them to get what she wanted. And that was her message,
Yeah.
is that nothing can stop me. And my husband is like cracking up, going, look, she just went through the electric fences, you know, but, and, yeah, so that was her message for me. And when people communicate with her, that is what she's telling them, is nothing can stop you from achieving what you want to achieve in your life. And
Mm.
I think that is what she has shown me, that everything I do here in the center is what I want. When I arrived here 16 years ago, was to have a center for healing me and my
Mm.
family, but also to
Yeah.
share it with the world as well, to help people to heal in the sacred place. Yeah. Mm.
It's so beautiful. Yeah. So, do you do retreats or courses, or do people come in daily? How do you work with people now?
So I teach animal Reiki. So I teach level 1, 2, 3, and the masters. So I have
Okay.
that continually during the year. And I do online for Animal Reiki 3 because I feel there's more to it than actually just going out there. I feel I have to teach people to listen, to focus. Well, that was
Mm.
one of the big things that the horses have taught me, right? Is, I suppose, being an empath, I used to call myself airy fairy, going, oh, the world is lovely. And oh, how did that happen? And
Yeah.
you're kind of going, whoa, come back. So it was very grounding. So I was like
Yeah.
up there kind of going, oh God. So I felt the horses grounded me an awful lot. They made me focus. When I'm out in the field,
Yeah.
I am very focused. I know exactly where every one of them are. I know exactly where every person is, and I know exactly what they're feeling and seeing and doing. And that has helped me so much in my own life, because it's helped me to focus
Mm.
on myself and seeing what I'm feeling now, and what do I want to achieve, my goals
Yeah.
and my visions, and how powerful we are when we actually concentrate on that, and we can manifest anything we want in our lives if we focus. So that's one of my teachings. I also do retreats here. During COVID, I got the inspiration that, oh my God, so many women want to come here and actually be in a sacred space where they can find and open
Mm.
up their heart to heal themselves, just like I did. I opened up that wall. And by being around the horse's energy and staying here with the comfort of them around you and feeling their vibration as you sleep at night, I thought, oh my God, this would be amazing. So off I went,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I have two sons. So one of them was going to college, and I decided, right, I'm going to do up the 3 rooms upstairs, going to get somebody in to
Mm.
help me to decorate them and design them so that be comfort and to feel the energy. So I did. I did up the 3 rooms during COVID. And so after COVID, but in the process of doing that, the perfection was hitting me big time because how am I going to
Mm.
bring people into my home? I have 2 sons and a husband and myself. You're going to be living under the same roof as us. And how am I
Yeah.
going to control them to be perfect? And
Yes.
that was my big
Yeah.
thing inside my head going, oh my God, you know. So what had happened with my body was I actually came out in blisters all over my body
Wow.
2 months before
Yeah.
I opened up my retreats. And it was like from here down to my toes, I was in blisters
Wow.
all over my body. And I had to
Yeah.
surrender. I had to surrender that perfection. And when I did, it healed up. I booked myself into the hospital and I got fluids because I had drained my energy was so
Mm.
low. And I thought, all right, okay, I need to start surrendering this because I won't be able to open it if there is the perfection. So yeah, so a month later, I opened up my first retreat, which is 2.5 years ago, and I had 5 women staying here. The weather was like 30 degrees here in Ireland. We never get 30 degrees here. It was that weekend. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And that was the start of
Wow.
my journey of actually
Yeah.
helping women to come here in retreats. So yeah, so I have one coming up this weekend, which is really exciting as well. Again, the weather is supposed to be lovely again, which is really nice. It helps. Um, but yes, I've been doing them 2.5 years and loving it. The perfection has gone out the window. Focus, my family are loving it. Um, I think it's teaching them a lot, and a lot about me as well. We're all
Mm.
connecting together. We're all helping each other, which is lovely. So we got a new addition in the last few weeks. We got a new dog. So a golden retriever.
Okay.
So he's here. You were saying, have I got more in the herd?
That's
Yeah.
that's beautiful. So how do you structure the retreats? Do you have do you go and visit the horses, say in the morning?
So what I do is, right, so the people come on a Friday night and some people have never been here before. So I would ground them and we do a little meditation before bedtime. But also it's connecting with me, that they trust me. And that's the big thing. They have to trust me to open up their heart to their inner child to, connect
Mm.
with themselves. So they go to
Yeah.
bed that night feeling,
Yes.
okay, nurtured and loved by me.
Yeah.
And they go into,
Amazing.
into that state where they feel the energy of the land. I don't take them out to see the horses on the first night. We connect with the land. We might go out, we might do a
Mm.
ritual outside with the fire burning and all of that. But the horses are all there at a distance, looking on, feeling the
Mm.
energy. So in the morning, we get up and we have breakfast and we do Tai Chi. I have a yew tree. So my yew tree is 1,000 years old. So during,
Mm.
say, the famine times here in Ireland, there used to be rituals around a tree. So I have made this a sacred space
Wow.
for people. So when we do our energy and connecting with the tree, we're grounding our energy again to trusting ourselves and trusting me and the land before we go out into the field. So that is very, very powerful because we do a lovely Qigong energy. It's connecting the heaven and earth energy at the heart
Mm.
center.
It's
So we're
beautiful.
opening our hearts. So we're very, very vulnerable, but too vulnerable to go out into the field yet with the horses. So I bring them in and we do some artwork. So at the moment, I have horseshoes And I have this lovely lady, and she designs the horseshoes in my branding, and I
Mm.
get the manes of the horses, the 3 horses, and I help them to connect. So when we connect with the mane of the horse, it's all about self-acceptance. So what I do is I get them to get the mane and attach it to the mane, and they can do, little plaits or whatever on the horseshoe, so they can hold the horseshoe
Mm.
and feel the energy vibration of the horses through their meditation. So I would take them on a journey of meditating then after doing, because when you're doing artwork, you're opening up the brain again. You're opening up and you're
Wow.
relaxing the body, and you're feeling and trusting more again, and it's just opening the heart again to feeling that
Yeah.
love. Because you would be so surprised with people when they start doing
Yeah.
artwork or feeling into stuff like that, doing stuff for themselves. They can't do it. They're looking, going, how do I do it? How would I do it? It has to be perfect. And they're
It's
going, no,
amazing.
it doesn't. You just have to feel it and just feel what is good for you. Nobody is here judging you, and nobody cares what it feels like, only you. So then after that, we have lunch, and then I
Mm.
take him out into the field. And that's what I love most, is because I can't arrange that. I don't know what's going to happen out there. And when we're all open and the
Yeah.
heart is
Wow.
opened, and we're feeling they're trusting me, they're trusting the land, and they can feel the energy vibration of the horses, we're all in coherence. That's when the horses come up and show them that they are loved, and they can love themselves, and they can break down that wall, they can break down
Mm.
that barrier to allow the love in and allow that attraction. And yeah, let go of the perfection, the control. I suppose for
Mm.
me, I attract people who are like me. So I can only teach what I have gone through in my life. So seeing the transformation out in the field is absolutely beautiful. And then we come back in and we take a rest, and I cook.
Mm.
So I like cooking. So it's my way of connecting with myself. So I cook there. I cook dinner for the evening, and then we go out and we do a ritual at night. We do fire burning and allow the horses to come in around us then. Their vibration can come in around us as we're outside in the field and the fire is burning, and we're setting our intentions, what came up for us, and burning it up. And it's lovely. And it's just the moonlight. Um, yeah. And then we go to bed, 9:30, 10 o'clock. But the following day then is a different energy, because people have gone to bed, they've felt the emotions have bubbled up in them. They might wake in the middle of the night, they're feeling the energies, and it's like releasing and surrendering. And then in the morning, we do a little Tai Chi again, but I do a 1-to-1 with people. I take people out then for a 1-to-1 with the horses, and we do about half an hour. And this is where their vulnerability,
Okay.
they're trusting in me, and they're trusting in the horses, and they can surrender it more, and feeling and seeing the mirror and seeing and getting the
Mm.
tools, so that when they leave here, when
Yeah.
they feel that, when they can see that mirroring, they will know what to do, and I often find, sometimes people are very impatient. They want it now. They want everything now. And I love it about the horses,
Mm.
because they will stand there and they look at you going, I'm not come near you until you actually surrender and open your heart. And they're going,
Yeah.
why won't they come to me? And I'm there going, you need to relax. You need to, accept. So they're
Yeah.
going, so they're going, Camille going, the horses don't like me.
Yeah.
And I'm going,
So
so for me that interprets,
mm.
you don't like yourself. Why would the horses come to you if you don't like, they don't like themselves. So until they surrender. And
Yeah.
one lady I had here, she was standing there for 20 minutes waiting for the horses to come.
Mm.
I never go to the horses. I always allow them to come, because I said, within that journey of actually standing there and surrendering in front of them,
Mm.
you can feel the energy. So
Yeah.
this lady was standing there for 20 minutes feeling this, her self-esteem. Oh my God, they don't love me. Oh my God, I'm, just
Mm.
desperate. They don't come to me, and comparing herself to everybody else. And next thing they ran, they just came thundering
Mm.
up the field at us. And she was standing there and she going, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? And I just said, stand in your power, stand in your power and let them see you. So they ran around her and they started going, and I said, feel the vibration, feel the vibration.
Mm.
So the next time
Yeah.
you're in a situation where you're impatient, I want you to remember that that rush is going to come to you, and you are going to stand in your power, and you're going to allow that vibration to come in and help you to actually not allow anyone to push you over. And
Mm.
that was been probably one of my biggest learnings is, working with somebody like that,
Mm.
and they bring that feeling every time they're doing, if they're at work and they're feeling nervous, all they just feel into the vibration of standing there in the field waiting for being impatient, but then standing in their power when, if they're going for an interview or anything, standing in their power when that person comes in with that suit and it's like, go, 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 go. You are in your power, and you can do it. You can do it. Um, yeah. So that's very
Yeah.
powerful, I find. And then we connect then with the land. I love trees. We have loads of um, oak trees, which are about 200 years old here. We have ash trees,
Mm.
elms, beeches. So these trees, they've been here, and the hawthorn, of course. I love the hawthorn. That's the tree. It's about love and protection. Here in the land, it's called the fairy tree. Being Irish, we have to have our little fairy trees, our little.
Mm.
So yeah, so I collect the berries from the trees, the red berries. They come out at this time of year in the late summer, and I put it in almond oil, and I let the red from the
Wow.
berries absorb into the oil. And then what we do is we rub it onto our heart for love and protection, and here as well. So we rub it here. And this is an essential oil that helps us, and helps us to know that we are loved and protected in our lives.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So natural.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow. It's amazing all the journey that the horses take us through, and it's just incredible, and there's so much potential. They meet everybody just where they're at,
Yeah.
and they just
Yes.
embrace the process.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask you, just out of interest, because I know people get concerned with these things. So, if, say, you have to get the horse's feet trimmed, or you need to do something like move them somewhere or anything like that would require a kind of conventional training, how does that work with the horses? Have you found people who communicate with them and just do these things naturally, or have there been any kind of learning processes in that for you?
Yes. So my say Ruby was a mom, so she was obviously trained, before she came here. So she was very nervous when she arrived. She has neurological problems. Lizzie was a foal, so Lizzie when she arrived here. So Lizzie, because I suppose, Camille, when I started off, I thought I had to be able to ride my horses. This was the thing, because people would judge me going, oh, you need to ride your horses
Mm,
and all of this. So what had happened with Lizzie
yeah.
was at 2 years of age, I sent her out to be trained so I could ride her. And so yeah, so that didn't go down very well with her, because she was like me. She doesn't like being told what to do. So that was a bit traumatic for her. So she came back about 3 weeks later, and then Isabel was born. So Isabel has never been outside of here, of Epona. And so for me, Isabel, I felt at the beginning, I thought, oh my God, I need to train her so that if anything happened to me, this horse wouldn't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I got people in to help me at the beginning. And I think this was the learning curve for me because I suppose for me, I wanted a natural environment here. I didn't want to be controlled. And I felt people were coming in and they were controlling me, telling me I wasn't good enough to have these horses here. I was lucky that, and I felt this was my journey. I felt my self-esteem was going down, and I took it in the chin. I really did. And I thought, right, okay, I know nothing about horses, the whole lot. But then it was amazing. This girl came in and she was all into horsemanship. And she said to me, she said, Noreen, your horses are always going to be with you. And if anything ever happens to you, your horses will be guided to go to the next person who's going to be like you. And I went, you're right.
Mm.
So you don't need to have these horses all perfect again, And so what I had a big fear of farriers coming in because, they come in and they're in 5 minutes and done and the whole. So my biggest fear was when the farrier would come in, he would stress them all out. But actually I was being stressed. So I was stressing the horses out. So before the farrier ever came in, the horses were running around the field like lunatics. And I'm going, okay. And I remember she was saying to me, this lady, she was lovely. She said, if you have to, you can actually get the little dopey stuff for Isabel if she won't lift her legs just to calm her. And I'm going, no, that can't happen. That can't happen. So then I decided I was getting my husband to be here when the farrier would come. And he's more relaxed than me because I'm a mother. So I'm going, oh, don't touch her, don't hurt her, whatever. But she stood very calmly for them. And I'm going, and now the farrier knows when he comes, there's no stress. He walks in, he has another guy with him. They are so calming that Isabel, the other two are no problem lifting their feet. Isabel is always my issue because she wasn't ever trained. And now Isabel, they stand there, they're talking to her like a baby, even though she's 7.
Yeah.
And, and she knows that they're not going to hurt her. And they're very gentle and kind with her. And they have it done in 15 minutes. And if she decides she didn't want to lift her leg this day, they will leave her alone and they will come back again and do it the next time. So, so I was very much stressed over that because I was judging myself again. My horses had to be perfect. People are going to be judging me. Oh, look at her. She's 3 horses running around the place like crazy. But actually, when I calmed myself down and when other people when I asked for help and the right person came to help me, then it all worked out for the best. And I wasn't being judged or stressed or anything. So now, and I don't get stressed over these things anymore. I used to. But my horses will always guide me. But that was my overwhelm. That was me, my personality. So I have kind of let these things go now. And I know it was me that was causing that issues as opposed to horses.
Yeah, again, it's another learning process, isn't it? Another way of healing whatever we have. Because I think that just is the world.
Yes. It is. And being judged, you see, I felt I had to ride the horses because I have horses. My horses don't want to be ridden. Ruby bucked me off when I was riding her. that was really interesting because this was when she came back to us and we decided to get Lizzie trained. And I thought, let's get Ruby trained as well, because I said, my husband and myself, we could go riding together. Just magical. Yeah. And so Ruby was in the stable,
Yeah.
being trained up. And the guy was in the arena with me, and I was on top of Ruby. And next thing, she bucked me. And I went, right, okay. She bucked me, and I thought, right, okay, I'm still sitting. But then she went around again, and she double bucked me. And I can't remember, Camille, how I actually fell on the ground, because she knew she wanted me off her, because the one buck wasn't enough. She was going to double buck me. So what had happened was, and that day when she did that, I went into a spin and I landed, and I actually cracked my neck, right? And I went, and I remember the guy looking at me going, oh my God, are you all right? And I went, yes, I'm okay. And he made me get back up again. And I was right. So after that, I thought, okay, I decided to go to an animal Reiki medium, because, and this was kind of at the beginning of my journey, kind of going, I don't think Ruby wants me to ride her. But there was more to the message than actually, I knew there was something else she was telling me. And when I went to this medium, she told me that I went into a higher realm. So, because I can't remember falling, because I don't know how to fall off a horse. So I could have been, killed or whatever, or my leg got stuck in the stirrups. I just can't remember how it happened. But she said she sent me up into a higher realm, and I had a choice up there to decide whether I wanted to come back here to Earth, or did I want to and do the work that I'm doing, or did I actually want to go? And the reason why that is the neck, the cracking of the neck. So on my journey, right, as a child, at 6 years of age, I lost my brother. He died in a motorbike accident and he broke his neck. So for me, that journey was saying the neck. So I cracked my neck when I fell. And so when she told me this story, I was there going, oh my God, I had a choice whether to go up and crack my neck and die, or to come back and actually work with these animals, but not ride them, because Ruby didn't want to be ridden. And I thought, all right, okay. So I made that choice when I was up there, and I decided to come back down and do this work. So that was the start of kind of my journey, kind of going, oh my God, this is so powerful. And I have to listen to this. I have to listen. So then I took my horses. So that's why Isabel never went to the stables to be trained, because it's not meant to be for me on my journey. I'm not meant to ride my horses. I'm meant to be on the ground, non-riding and connecting with them.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Yeah. It just shows how everything happens for a purpose, and it's all bringing us closer to who we are, and that there's no limits on us, really. That's so beautiful. Wow. What an amazing story.
Well, I suppose for me it's all about listening, listening to what is out there. Because the universe is always sending us messages. And for me, it's like, with Ruby, she was sending me that message. Don't ride the horses. It's not meant to be, or when we bought the land was supposed to be here, even though at the time we didn't want it. But, and if we resist it, and that's what I find when I resisted opening up my retreat center, I flared up, and my body was telling me I needed to get some help to actually help me to surrender to that release. So for people, I find if there is a resistance, and if there is something your dream, your desires, and it's about coming out of your comfort zone, get some help, to help you to overcome that journey,
Mm.
because we all know
Yeah.
it's meant to be. And I suppose for me, at the end of the day, I don't want to have any regrets.
Yeah. That's so important, isn't
Thank
it?
you.
Asking for guidance and asking for help. I think that's
Mm,
really just, it doesn't matter how you think about it, you know, whether you're thinking of it as from the universe or from your higher self or from God, or, you know, it really is. It's just asking for help and
mm-hmm,
just realizing that we can't see everything and know
mm-hmm,
everything, and that we aren't alone, that we're just part of the whole, you know, and that the help is there. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
that's so powerful. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
yeah,
Well,
totally.
thank you so
Yeah.
much. It's been amazing. I love to hear everything with the horses.
Thank you.
It's so
Thank you.
beautiful. Maybe we can do another one
Mm,
at some point.
thank you. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to.